ugly allowed. Are you ready? Here we go. Fashion is the art. Designers are the gods. Models play the part of angels in the dark. Which one of you would ever dare to go against that beauty is a trade and everyone is paid? Fashionista. How do you look? Fashionista. How do you look? New York, London, Paris, Milan, Tokyo. I think it's in Japan. Asia, Malaysia, Las Vegas to play. LA, if you pay my way. Fashionista. How do you look? Fashionista.
She's got it all. A symbol of excellence. She's got it all. She's got it all. All the elements, a symbol of excellence. Shining, she is so flawless. Incredible illusionist. Miss Gay America. Miss Gay America. The best of the best. She is beauty, she is grace. Perfect in every way. This gay America. The best of the best. She is beauty, she is grace. Perfect in every way. This gay America.
Hello, hello, hello out there in Facebook world. It is your girl, Morgan, the queen so nice they named her thrice, but also your anchor of excellence. And I'm so excited to join you this evening for a fabulous event tonight. We're going to jump right in because I have a fabulous, darling dear. She's fabulous. She's beautiful. She's amazing. And that smile is enchanting. I'm just going to bring her in so we can get right down to it. She is still your reigning Miss Gay Southern America 2025, Miss Ebony Alexander. Hello, beautiful.
That was a nice little montage in the beginning.
That's because it's for you, and you're just so
Oh.
adorable and beautiful. Oh, I only made it just for you, nobody else.
I'm over here blushing. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, I saw you go like this. Were you doing a little tear moment?
No, I just felt like I was a little greasy. But
I was screaming. And you took care of it because you look perfection. Well, hello, my darling. Our still reigning Miss Gay Southern America 2025, Miss Ebony Alexander.
thank you. I am not ready for this weekend in the best possible way just
Okay.
because I'm not an emotional person, but I'd like even just talking about now, I'm so overcome with emotion just because it's been a journey to get there. A couple of years in the making. So I'm excited, but I'm just overcome with emotion.
Well, this is the spot to allow us to get into the emotions because this is your girl, Morgan, and we're here to get down with excellence with you, Miss Ebony.
Let's do it.
I'm ready. So just a reminder out there, the ones that are joining us for the first time, please hit that share button. The more people we bring in, the more people we have fall in love with the America
Yeah.
system, just as much as your girl, Morgan, and Miss Ebony Alexander. So what I want to do is I just want to get in and dig in with you. I want to get to, I know you. I know of you, I see you, but I want to get to know you on a more personal level. So I'm just going to start at the beginning and we're just going to
Yeah.
keep cruising down your journey if that's okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Love. I love it. You are eager and I love it. So Miss Ebony, where are you from originally? Where were you born and raised?
So I am originally from Knoxville, Tennessee, born and raised. But my family is all over. I currently reside in Lexington, Kentucky with my partner and our cute little Yorkie, Theo, and we have 2 children. But my journey began in Knoxville.
Knoxville. And so as a fabulous young person in Knoxville, how long did you live in Knoxville for? till
Oh,
you moved?
literally, I just turned 30 in April and I moved last June. So I've been
Okay.
in Knoxville for 29 years.
That was your spot. That was your
Yes,
Knoxville's
that's
fabulous. I
home.
get that's every time I drive from Pennsylvania all the way to Little Rock, I hit my Knoxville. I
Yeah,
sure
Knoxville. I like Knoxville only because I live in a college town currently, and one of the schools that I went to for college is a huge college town, University of Tennessee.
Mhm.
So I wanted somewhere that was equivalent but not the same.
Sure.
I'm also very close with my family. Like my family and I have a huge family. On any given immediate holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, we have about maybe 50 plus people at a gathering.
I love
So I knew when
We'll
I was
include
moving,
51 or 52 with my partner as well. We'll be there
yes,
next.
come. You all are always invited to the cookout. Um, so I knew that when I moved, I wanted to be closer or somewhere I could get close to home because when I was thinking about moving, I was looking at Dallas, I looked at Houston, and I think Tampa, but I was like, I can't get home quick enough. And like specifically, like I am a mama's boy, but my grandmother is like and I'll drop everything, come quick. And so I'm about 2 hours and 30 minutes. So it's super close for me to get home. But it took a while for me to move. Because I wanted to move right around like 21 or so, but I just couldn't do it because I couldn't be away from my family. And even
Sure.
when I did move, I was a little homesick and I was kind of surprised a little bit because and me and my mom are close, but it was like as I moved, like we became closer. I'm the oldest of three.
Okay.
Um, and I've always been like the independent one. And then I have a middle sister and a younger brother. Everybody knows the baby is always the baby. And then my sister considers herself the family manager. So as
Yep.
we got older, I kind of moved to the outskirts just because I have always just been independent. I'm very similar to my mom. She's a hard worker, independent, and a hustler. Like she's gonna work, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. And that's how I am. And so when I moved, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I would get off work and go visit everybody. Mom, my grandmother, my great grandmother, even on my dad's side. And so when I moved, I was in a funk a little bit. I really
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. I get it. I'm a family tried and true person all day long, and I live now two or three houses from my sister. My parents live like
Now
in the
that's too
neighborhood.
close. That's
I
too
know,
close.
but I moved away for a little bit, but I feel what you're saying. It's that homesick, it's that safe feeling, it's all the good feels that you know growing up,
Hmm.
especially, with all the
Absolutely.
great experiences. And it sounds like you have a very strong family background, which is awesome.
Yes,
I'm very
absolutely.
supportive. So when you were growing up, what were you into? Were you into sports? Were you into like the arts, or like what were you like? What was Ebony up to?
Ah, so I was always so busy,
Okay,
which makes sense now. Like I did every extracurricular that I could do. We
okay,
grew up in the church just because my grandmother was considered the mother of the church. And so we were in church 5 days a week, 6 days a week. I was an usher. I was in the choir. I was on the auxiliary board for decorations. I danced. I was doing piano. I was doing voice. I ran track. Like I did everything up until probably about sophomore year of high school. But I'm the same. Like I always was talkative. I was always excelled academically, but my report card, I always got unsatisfactory in conduct because
in what? In
in conduct because
Okay,
or behavior
okay,
back in the
understand.
days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if they do report cards, but I was always very talkative. Not necessarily class clown, but you could put me next to Johnny Blow and Cindy Lou Who, and we're going to have a conversation. And so if we would have a parent teacher conference, it would be like, Arthur's great, but oh, that's my boy name, by the way.
Well, I was there with you. I followed through.
But he just talks too much. Like he could go in a corner, you could put him on the other side of the room. He's gonna talk to somebody.
Mhm.
I've always been kind of bubbly, very outgoing. And then even just reminiscing and looking back at photos of me, I'm like, for real, mother.
I'm
Seriously.
kidding. What do you mean? Like, what did she do with the
Like
picture?
one of my most pictures I always flash back to is a log, and I'm on the log like this.
Done. I'm jealous. I want those. I want that or those old school 1980s dance photos where the ballerina
Yes,
one.
and let me tell you the worst part about it. My mother loved a set as far as clothing goes. So I would have on a plaid set. We were Old Navy children. And I used to model in the Kmart fashion shows, the Kohl's fashion shows, the Sears fashion shows, all of it. And I used to wear the baggiest clothes. I'm like, Mother, why would you put me in these clothes? It was awful.
Because
And
she's
I'm that
fabulous in
way.
tears and she doesn't have to explain anything. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but it looking back, it just kind of puts everything like in retrospect. Like even like as a child, I really didn't know who I was. We'll
Mhm.
kind of fast forward in here, but growing up, I was just so busy in different auxiliaries that I never really had time to self-identify, if you will.
Okay.
I always knew that I stood out now. I always stood out in some sort of way, whether that was intentionally or whether that was just natural. I always kind of stood out. But that's it. I mean, I was always with my grandmother.
Yeah. I was
It
going to
was
ask you
just
about that. I was going to ask about your connection with your grandmother as well, because it seems like there's a lot of, I mean, I'm with your whole family, a lot of love. And I know that and I see that. But you
well,
your grandmother.
what my mom wouldn't give, grandmother would.
I
Like,
got it.
just because I was the first grandchild. So, like, for example, cell phone, we rode the bus because we grew up. We weren't rich folk. We lived in project housing growing up, but our house was so pristine, they used it for viewing for the apartments. And so
No.
we rode the bus. And so I was like, everybody else have phones. Why can't I have a phone, mama? And she was like, I'm not paying for no phone. Now, mind you, we never went without. Competitions, they were paid for. Anything extra that we ever did was always paid for. My mom has always been a hard worker as a single mom. But I would call grandmother, don't you know mama won't get me no phone?
Did you get
We
your phone?
going we went and got a phone. So I call mom. I'm like, this is my number, program it.
I
And
live.
she's like,
I
I
live.
know who got you that phone. Yes. And so naturally, we just had always just, me and my grandmother just always clicked like that.
Yeah.
Um, and even like my great grandmother, of all, I can't even count how many grandchildren from great grandchildren, grandchildren, great great grandchildren. We lived probably 2 or 3 streets over. I would always walk up on Saturday if I didn't have anything, and we worked in the yard. She was very big on gardening. She grew everything. She didn't go out to restaurants. It just was not her thing. If we ate it, she either grew it. If she could butcher it, she would have butchered it. But that's just where we went. When our parents would go, I love the casino. I mean, I ain't even gonna hold you. I love to gamble.
You
Oh,
personally, what's your
me,
what's your game of
my
choice?
game of choice. I like roulette, but I do like slots now. I'm not a penny slot kind of girl. I'm a bet $1,
Mhm.
$2. And if I get real lucky, I'm gonna start betting five.
I'm telling you, those penny slots will get you every time. They
But
make you make
anyway, I
yeah.
say out that to say when our parents, and I get it honestly, they would take casino trips and they would drop us off at my great grandmother's house. And so they didn't like to work in the yard. I did, and we had a pool and all kind of sort of stuff. So I was kind of the favorite. I would go up, we'll work in the yard, and grandparents, they didn't just give you money in front of everybody. They would kind of fold it up and then slip it in your hand as you was walking by. And so my cousins, they always would be like, you must think you are that in a bag of chips. I am. So for my
Mhm.
all of my grandparents, I was always the favorite. Now my grandfather, God rest his soul, we were like oil and water because he was
Okay.
a talker and I was a talker. And we debated. He was very big into politics, and I hated to go over his house because in the morning for school, we would have to watch C-SPAN, Fox, CNN. I don't want to watch that getting ready for school as
Oh
a
my
8,
goodness.
9, 10 year old. And I would never forget this. We were having a
Just 1 second. We got paused for a second, but we are going to refresh, recharge, reboot.
he
Can you hear? Can you hear
yeah,
me, my love?
can you hear
You
me?
paused for 1 second. You were getting to the good stuff too.
Yes.
So,
We were debating. I don't know if it was about politics, I can't remember. But he told me, and I will never forget this. It was the best colloquialism I think I heard. He was like, you can talk to your ass catch a fire. It ain't gonna make no difference with me. Like that was that was kind of our relationship. But even still then, like growing up the elementary, he would bring us lunch. My favorite meal was from Arby's, and I wanted a beef and Swiss. So if I was calling Granddaddy, hey, can you bring me a beef and Swiss? He always brought me a beef and Swiss. Now, even as I got older, whatever I needed, Granddaddy, can you do this? It's possible. It was never yes, it was never no. It was possible. So I just naturally have just been close with all of my family. And then it's really weird. One side of my family is very musical. The other side of my family cannot carry a tune in a bucket. So it never mattered what day of the week it was. There was something going on
yeah.
in somebody's house, or somebody was having a barbecue or something like that. So for me, I mean, honestly, as they say, I really do come from good stock. Now we struggle. Now don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
I had it hard growing up, being black, being gay, growing up, in the hood, if you will, and being different, but that didn't scare me. I was still gonna be me. And I had a real good rapport, with most people, you
Yeah.
know.
So let's talk about that a little bit real quick. Before we get to that, I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. So, did your grandfather always say to anything you said, "It's possible"? Like that
Always.
old statement, like that was his saying.
That was it. It's
I think
possible. It
it's
was
so
never, mm-mm. It
that
was
is like
it's
that
possible.
is like that would be something that sits in my heart forever. Like I
It
just think
was. It was always which I knew it's possible meant yes. But
right.
because now he would say, I'm not coming to do that or no. But majority, 99% of the time it's possible. It was.
So well, thank you. I just wanted because I think it's special and I think it's very important.
Yeah, it is. I will never forget it.
So let's talk a little bit about you growing up. And now, did you come out right away, or how did that like turn about as far as
Um, I
growing
never
up?
I never really had like the traditional coming out story.
Mhm.
It just that was just the ebb and flow of life. When I got
Yeah.
to college, like I said, I was so busy. I went to school. When I got out of school, I had an extracurricular activity. I finished that, got home, did homework, and got up and repeated it. So
Mhm.
like I said, I never really had time to really explore. Now, when I got to college, I was Nancy Drew in a lot of things.
Oh
And
God.
even still then, like I didn't have like I was experimenting in college. I knew what I liked and I took to it
Yeah.
like I would take to water. But
I,
but
yeah. I'm
I
proud of
didn't really have like I remember my mom said, do you like boys? And I was like, well, mother, I think that a mouth is a mouth and a hole is a hole, and people should be able to do whatever they want to do. And that was it.
verbatim.
She
Verbatim.
verbatim.
You know what that
Ever
tells me? How close you are with your family that you can like have this dialogue. And
Well, wait a minute now.
okay, okay, I
It
jumped ahead.
did, the conversation didn't just boom happen like that. Like it was like we were having a conversation. And I
Mhm.
said, I don't really know. I had a girlfriend growing up,
Mhm.
and I liked her. I really did. We was in high school, like we really liked each other. Then we broke up and she started dating my neighbor across the street, and that pissed me off. But but anyway, I never really had that coming out. Even like my first like boyfriend that my parents met was my partner prior to my current,
Sure.
which that was 3 years ago. So, and I always said that I will never introduce anybody to my parents unless I know that it's gonna be forever, just because me and my family are that close
Yeah.
and it's important to me. And I made a mistake. You live and you learn. I introduced he
Other.
who
Yeah.
shall remain nameless and we don't even talk about anymore.
Other.
And
Yep.
the vibe was completely different. It was very like, I don't know if you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, Nene and Kenya. It was
Please.
very,
Yes.
My parents were Nene and my ex partner was Kenya, and they were like, but when they met my current partner, it was completely different. And I told him, I was like, hey, when I graduate, because I was in nursing school at the time, you'll meet my family, everybody, because I always have big events. So I had a big graduation party and he met everybody and they fell in love. And my dad and him talked the whole graduation party. Like my dad would not shut up.
Was he talking
Like,
about politics the whole time? No, I'm just kidding. Did he?
and I was
I'm
like,
only
wait a
playing.
minute. I was like, wait a minute. They not really hitting it off. And I was nervous, more so for my grandmother, just because I mean we're Southern, even her, it was everybody loves them.
I get
Like
this. You're giving me the goosebumps. It's so beautiful, and I love
I
that.
was
That's so.
nervous, and what's so crazy is I just talked about this with my drag mother Mercedes the other day. In the scheme of things, and when I look at things, yes, we have all the bells and the whistles in everyday life, but if I never win another page, and if I never do another show, if I never do anything else, like I'm truly rich in love in the best way. I have a beautiful home. It's nothing immaculate, but it's ours. We've built a life. My family loves me. My family has accepted me. That's all I could ever ask for because there are people who don't have that. And in particular, I had a college roommate. His family was not that way. We went down to visit, and I was in the car, and his stepdad had a shotgun. It just sends chills through my body and
Hmm.
said that he is not welcome back home if he continues to live his life that way. And ever since then, like it really put in perspective for me. You never really know what people are going through. And so you should treat everybody, the way you want to be
Yeah.
treated. So I
Um,
always just take that blessing for me and
mhm.
try to be that way with everybody.
Yeah.
Just because everybody don't have it that easy.
Sure. So I'm going to switch gears just a little bit, if that's
Yeah, we're
okay.
getting real serious over
I
here.
know we did. Let's get into the fabulous Ebony Alexander. Now,
Yes.
were you always known as Ebony Alexander? Or did you have like an
No.
intro name? We'll say.
Okay, how this even started? Our friends was having a RuPaul or drag queen Halloween party.
Okay, like theme party.
Themed,
Okay.
yes. I had a great uncle, my grandfather's brother, who was a local legend at the time. I didn't know he was a drag queen until I was an adult, maybe a year or so before I started. Our family never really talked about it. They knew. I mean, they would go to his shows. I mean, he had a wife, he had kids. So I mean, everybody knew who he was. I mean, he was well known. Um, in one of the clubs, it was Carousel at the time. Very, 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 very popular venue in the South for drag icons and legends all over the United States.
Yeah.
And even my drag mother, Mercedes, her and her husband owned a bar, Rainbow West, which tons, former Americas, gay US of A's, Continentals, Miss Nationals, everybody comes through there. So I did not know anything of this until after I got started. So I was like, okay, who the hell am I going to go as? So I just had to go as Coco Montrese to this.
Coco.
Yes, I just have to go as Coco to this party. And my drag sister, we started together. She went as Trixie Mattel. So we went to this party, and it was, I don't know, like I felt so out of place. Like I was like, am I really doing this? And she was like, yes, girl, we going. So we went, and it was a hit. It was
Yeah.
like, yes, you need to do it, you need to do it, you need to do it. So open stage is what we called it, or amateur night, was
Okay.
on Mondays at our club, and it was hot. I mean, you couldn't even get in the place. It was shoulder to shoulder. So they was like, you need to do open stage. I was like, I am not doing it. Like
Kind
this
of
was a
all those
one
people,
time
right?
thing. Like I'm not doing it. I don't want to wear heels. No, that's just too much. So I was like, Lord, am I gonna do this? So my favorite song is "School in Life" by Beyonce. So we was in the car, I was dancing, getting to it. So my sister was like, "Girl, you gonna do Monday Night Madness?" That's what it was called. I said, "I guess." And I was like, "Well, I gotta get me a costume and da 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 da." I didn't. I knew about makeup because by day I was doing bridal makeup and I worked
Okay.
in professional theater
There are
makeup.
so many layers to your onion, I have to say. You are
Yes,
very
you and we
I
just
admit
now
it.
getting we on the
I'm
outer
following.
layers,
I am
and
following
so
you 100%. So I don't know if everybody else is following right now but I love it because you are just you never limit yourself. And I just have to I'll chime in.
no, I never
Maybe
have.
I
And
love it.
so I was like, I have never done drag makeup. Like it was a mess. So I reached out to one of my high school friends who we actually he didn't like me because I won best dress and he didn't. But I was like, can you do my makeup? Because he was good at makeup. So I got myself together. I went to the discount store Simply 10. Everything is under $10. I found this
As a fabulous girl does.
I found this black, I will never forget it. This black bodysuit with gold studs. It was a leotard. I had added some gold chainette fringe down the arms, and I had put this tulle skirt out.
Always tulle skirt.
And so I
Girl.
was like, I don't have no, I have a butt, but I don't have hips. So I was like, I am not getting ready to wear this built like no pencil. So I
Yeah.
went and got I went and got booty bumps.
For the hips or your booty? For the hips.
For the hips, I really didn't need butt at the time, so I thought.
Sure.
And so I went and got me a booty bump. I got two from the beauty supply store.
Mm.
They didn't have, well, they had brown stockings, but it was mocha. I'm not really mocha. Well, Java, excuse me, it was Java. I'm not Java. I'm more mocha. I was like, I can't wear that. And plus, they only had it in a small. I said, well, I guess I'm gonna have to get black. Oh,
Straight
okay,
like yeah. I mean,
pitch black.
it's
And I
a
found
decision that you made and that
this.
was so buy it.
I got this wet and wavy wig, and I said, okay, so look. And the heel that I wore was a biscuit, a little Hershey Kiss. It was so tiny. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I didn't even practice. So we getting ready. It's about maybe 13 or 15 of us competing in open stage. And how it works is you each come out and do a number,
Yeah.
and the audience applause sends you
Yeah.
to the finale. So naturally, I went out, I did my thing. I looked like a whale out of water. Mind you, I'm a dancer. I didn't have no rhythm. It was a mess. I had ran into the stage. It was just awful.
You were living
And-
your life. You were living the
yes,
moment, babe,
I
as you
won.
should.
I had about, it was audience applause, but I had about 6 people or 6 to 10 people out in the whole building. I was like, Lord, I done won this thing event. So you got to go to the finale. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do at the finale? So my first time around in college, I studied vocal performance with an emphasis in opera. So I said, I want to gag the kids. So I had made me a little booty do pinup wig,
And for the kids at home, what is the for the kids at home?
a booty do pinup wig. You know, you go through, you base tease the whole wig, and you kind of, it's a little, it's a down do, a booty do
Okay.
down do, rolled under.
Okay.
I had did that, and I had a purple sequin off the shoulder dress, and the bar had a wrought iron staircase that comes down, and the audience is down here. So I started in a blackout on top of the steps, and I was singing Old by Bino Carter from Gianni Schicchi. I thought I was serving. So that was my first number. And then my second number, I had this blue costume. They call it the blue dance costume. It was the everybody has had a costume out of this or a gown, the blue designer sequin, and I took micro baby dot sequin and made a handkerchief hem out the back and down the arms and down the middle, and I did lose my breath by Beyonce.
Love
So
that. Love.
I had said, honey, I'm not winning this because it was another girl at the time. She was the popular one. So I'm thinking she getting ready to win. Oh God, the callback outfit. At the time, I thought I was serving fish. It was, it was awful. I had a choker on, a two-piece sheer, floral piece set, some big old ugly white heels, and a short, kind of like Lisa Rinna Bob.
I'm there with you. I'm there with you.
I done won these folks finale on my first time. And so
Wow.
with that, you win I think it's the cycle was 7 weeks. So you get
Mhm.
a 7 week cast position and a booking fee.
Right
So
up
I
this
was
is right
excited
up
about the
this
booking
is right
fee.
off your gate too, right? This is like right
Yes,
at
it
you're
was right
fresh.
at the gate. So I won. I was on cast, and I got my $35 booking fee on
It
Mondays. And the host at the time was also kind of like well, she wasn't kind of like, she was a legend in our East Tennessee community. She competed in EOY system,
mm,
fierce seamstress. Like she made my first complete pageant package. Like she sold everything herself. She was a makeup artist at Dior. So I really learned a lot. As I was going, this lady picked me up and she was like, "Oh, you need to be my drag chat." And I was like, "I don't know nothing about that." So her name was Vanity, the host that worked at Dior. I was working at dealers as a selling specialist in handbags. So I was like, she said, "You need to come up with a name." I was like, "Okay, well, I want to do something that represents me, as a Black person, African American." I'm over here thinking Ferrero Rocher and stuff like stupid names like that. And
mhm.
she was like, "Well, why don't you, what about Ebony?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't want it with a Y because that's just giving like Nightwalker, Woman of the Night. But if you change it with an I, it gives it a little classy." And
Class.
so um my middle name was Yvonne. I don't know why it stuck with me, but it was Ebony Yvonne. So then the lady who was also a drag queen at the time, her name was Yasmin Nicole. She's like, "You should be my chair, be my chair, be my chair." I was like, "Okay, I guess." So I joined the Hassle Nicole. So then I became Ebony Nicole.
Mhm.
And my tagline was the epitome of elegance. So
Okay.
that's kind of how I got my name. And then I worked at a other local bar. So I did it. I did my 7 weeks at the bar that the open
Mhm.
stage was at, and then I took a cast position too early at another local bar, and I learned the hard way. And so Mercedes, we kind of were getting to know each other as I was
Yeah.
being out at the bar and stuff like that. We would talk. I would go to the dressing room, just building that rapport. I was still Yasmin's daughter, but I liked the polish of Mercedes. I liked the womanly aspect of
Okay.
Mercedes.
Yes.
Not even just the entertainer, but just how she carried herself. Um, and I knew for me, I never wanted to be a drag queen. And I don't consider myself a drag queen. I consider myself a female illusionist. Um,
I
and
love that. I
so
love
she was going through a tumultuous time of her life at the time. And I had said, "Will you be my drag mom?" Because Yasmin and I had severed ties because I felt like we were more so along the lines of sisters.
mhm.
Like she would try to compete in the pageants I was competing in, and I was competing in newcomer pageants. And she had been doing pageants 10 more years longer than me.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Why don't you be my drag mama?" She was like, "I can't. I just can't do it right now." And so I was like, "Okay, fine, whatever." I moved on. So I had started building my career. I was traveling out of town. I was on out of town bookings. I did my first pageant. Just I had a whole year of just figuring out on my own. Well, after Mercedes went through what she went through, um, she was like, "I see something in you." And I was like, "Okay." But she said, I will never forget it, "There's a couple tests I need you to pass." I was like, "Okay, well, when is it? When can I sign up?" She was like, "Oh, it's not, you will know." And so time went by, we exchanged phone numbers and, we would talk about different things. And one day she was like, "Are you ready to be my chat?" And I was like, "Sure." So then I went from Ebony Yvonne to Ebony Nicole, back to Ebony Yvonne when I dropped the first mother, and then I became Ebony Alexander. So
Okay.
if and when, which I don't ever think it will, just because she's been an instrumental part of my career as an entertainer. As a matter of fact, I know that it won't. Either one of us will have to croak and get on Jesus bus or vice versa. But I will never change my name again. Just because I've branded for so long. But
Yes. Well, I
that's
love
kind of,
that.
how it started. And I had already been traveling and I worked in corporate America. So I
Yeah.
knew how to conduct myself in a business manner. I just needed her to show me the ropes in that specific community
Mhm.
because and the way our relationship is built, she's very hands off. And I like it that way. And she was brought up that way. Her mother is Asia out of Louisiana. Um, and so that is kind of her same approach with me. Now I still do bounce ideas off of her.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's kind of how I got
Love
started.
it. So how did you get into the Miss Gay America pageant system then? Like, what drew you to it, and what do you love about it? I know I gave you a couple questions, but I know you're just.
So
I could
how
listen to
did
you for days, by the way.
well everybody always when I was getting started and then when I was competing in pageants, they was like this is me. I like to dress up. I very much so enjoy being a boy.
Mhm,
And there was a guy in particular named Rob who was really good friends with Pork Chop.
mhm,
And Monica Monroe from Continental. And so he had been around a lot of times. He was like, you would be awesome in America. And I was like, really? And I didn't really think too much of it. But when I started researching on YouTube, when I was really getting into drag, and I was looking for my first pageant talent, the first talent that I came across, I'll never forget it, was Katia Lee Love. She was doing Let's Get Loud. And I was like, oh, this is sick. This is sickening. So I kind
mhm,
of got to researching,
mhm.
just seeing different people. Um, and so I was
Which
like,
is
okay, I'm gonna
very
put it on.
smart, which is very smart of you
I
to,
put it on the back burner. And for me, I started judging pageants at a very young age. Not really young, but straight out of high school. I was judging pageants, and everybody knew I was a cute little gay boy. So I helped coach them in runway and interview. And so I've judged for Miss America system, their regional prelims, and a host of other national cisgender systems. Actually, one of the little ladies that I have worked with before, she just won US Miss Junior Teen. She just came across my screen. So the girls would always say, "Oh my God, you need to compete. Why don't you compete? Why don't you compete?" I was like, "I don't already know where to go." But America was the first I came across, and a
Mhm.
ton of gay US of A. I saw Continental, but I never really figured that was for me. And
Sure.
so as I grew and started figuring out myself, I figured what system aligns with me and how I identify and things along those lines. And it was always America. And so what I like about America is that they truly celebrate the transformation. Some places expect you just to always be Ebony or Morgan or Divinity
Mhm.
Cruise or so and so, so and so. No,
Yeah.
because Ebony's not getting on a plane. Ebony's not cashing checks at the bank. Ebony's not doing that. I am. And I'm an administrator by day. I like to tell people I'm an administrator of life. I work in trauma as a registered nurse. So every day for me, I'm always juggling something. And I know it's very administrative heavy, and I love that aspect of it. But for me, what really solidified my love for the system was pageant week. Honestly, I was most excited about meeting everybody
Yep.
from the social media buzz and like putting a name with a face and realizing, oh my God, you really are 6 feet tall or 6 inches tall, or oh my
Yeah.
God, girl, or just like getting to know people
Yeah.
for real and
Yeah.
up close and personal.
And when you know, you
So
know. It's
yes,
very like reunion slash high school slash camp. It's a cool
but
week.
it happened for me, not even at nationals my first time, but at my
Okay.
preliminary in 2023, my
Okay.
first Southern prelim when Monica's still on the prelim in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I was the new girl on the block. There was Barbara, Sevilla, Emery Starr, Davita, Giselle Monet, Giselle Cassidy Carter, and Emery Starr. So it was a loaded deck of girls. So I'm coming in like I don't know what to expect, or I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be a flop. And I got ready next to Emery, and Kayla Lachey was her dresser instantly. And my dresser was running behind in traffic coming to Atlanta, rightfully so. So everybody, when we get to Atlanta, y'all better be an hour
That's what
early to go somewhere.
yeah.
And so she was so selfless and was like, oh, I'll help you, whatever you need, da 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 da. And so that was truly my first introduction. And then I met at interview and registration, Blaze. And we talk at least once a week or every other week. Like I have her voicemails on my phone just because she's such a genuine
Mhm.
person. And she said, and I'm a spiritual person, and she said, what's for you is for you, and it will be on God's timing and not yours. So in the meantime, be the best version of yourself and have fun. That's what she said right before interview. And I'll never forget it because everybody wants it to be their time.
Yeah.
But if things are not aligned, you're not going to enjoy it. Say if we were to win on our very first time and there was an amalgamation of things going on in our life, we
Mhm.
won't be able to relish in the fact that we won. We will be dealing with everything
X,
else
Y,
going on
right,
in life, you know?
right.
And so for me, as a competitor, even being competing from knee high to a grasshopper, it was like, you don't have to win everything to
Mhm.
win. So it was just like thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. And I was like, I just love this. I met so many people. I met Blair that night. I met Jared that night. I mean, I met so many people. And then I won interview. I was like, what?
You I
I was
love
like,
it.
wait a minute. I won interview? I was like, yes. And so everybody was like, oh my God. It was like one of the best interviews we heard in a long time. And I was like, oh God, how am I going to top this? So from there, I knew I wanted to go back, but I was in an offer relationship. I was going through school, just a whole bunch of things. And Robbie and Richie were like, come to Southern, come to Southern, come to Southern. There was a couple other promoters like, oh my God, you need to come, you need to come. I'm like, girl, leave me alone. I ain't coming. I need time. So I would see Robbie and Richie all the time because I worked at the bar in their hometown. They were like, you going to come to Southern? I'm like, no, not yet. And I told them, I said, if and when I return, I will return under you all. Just because they not only were, I think Robbie was working in finance for on the board for finances for Southern. And I
Mhm.
think Richie was logistics, I believe. So that's how we met. And they had became friends because I was working at the bar all the time. And I said, you know what? I owe it to you all because they were vested. Whatever you need, we'll help you. Any advice,
Well,
whoever you need to be pointed to,
Richie said we wore her down is what
they
he said.
did. I mean, I'm like, every time they saw me, they wouldn't say, hey girl, how you doing? They would say, you coming to Southern? you know,
And
and
they're both fabulous
they
people.
they
You would
really are. And it solidified for me I have to go to nationals my first time under these people because they're so invested in me, and I need someone to keep me grounded so that I don't lose my way with all these nerves and emotions.
Mhm.
Um, and so I took 2 years off, and I told him, I said it was May. I was graduating, and I said, okay, I guess I'm gonna come. I was finishing up. Excuse me, January. It was January. I know I was had to make sure I was gonna cross that finish line. It was January. I said, okay, I'm coming. And honey, you would have thought I just gave them $1 million. And I was like,
Mm,
I knew that's who I wanted on my team my first time to go.
yeah.
And again, that was another reason why I fell in love with that because before I went to America, I competed in another system. And it was a mess. I had won 4 out of the 5 categories. I was still first alternate, and somebody deducted me 100 point, not 100, 30 points in interview for black fishnet stockings. Thank you. You
But
see how
like
perplexed you were?
I'm perplexed with the whole moment, but you know what I have to I must say is that what I love is that whatever you chose to wear was being yourself and you
Yeah.
put and so you got points taken off for that, but that's you know what? Lessons learned
Cause I,
or
I I I knew I looked good. I had on a very nice outfit, and I went to interview as Ebony,
yeah.
and just as well as this blazer is fitted on me sitting in this chair, one thing I do not play about. I alter my everyday clothes. I get my clothes tailored every day to fit me. I'm not getting ready to play in no clothes and not have them fit, whether it's interview, registration, whatever. So I had toyed with another system before, and I was like, this just is my sign. Girl, just go on over there.
Mhm.
Um, so that's how I got there, and I went to Southern. And a lot of people don't know this. I had a come apart the night of the pageant, like full blown hysterics. Um, I'm sure you've worn a ballroom dance shoe. You know it's felt under the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, I had I slipped. I don't know if they caught it,
Mhm.
but I had put on my crowning dress and I literally went into the corner and boohooed. I mean, like you would have thought, I don't know, something had just went wrong. Somebody was in an accident, and I was like, I'm so hard on myself, and I was like, I'm going to let them down, or let my community down because so many people had come to see me compete,
Yeah.
and I was having a come across that I have lost this pageant. I was going to be happy. It was me in Malibu. I was going to be happy for Malibu, regardless. Just 'cause I've always been that competitor. I've never been a sour competitor,
Mhm.
not on stage. And then I've gotten home and got in my car, and I've been pissed
Different
off. But
story, right.
that's human. I mean, we're all
Sure.
human. But I did. I had to come apart. I was like, I'm not. If I don't go to America this time, I'm not going because I done messed it up. I done slipped and fell in front of these folks. And Robbie came over, and he was like, "Are you all right?" And I just couldn't catch my breath. And he was like, "You are fine. I need you to breathe." Like this whole process, they have spoke so much life into me, just encouraged me because I am very hard on myself. I feel like I have to please everybody. And I knew that I wanted to be the best representative for them that I could be.
Yeah.
Um, so
Well, I think it but you know what I love about you is that you continue to just shine from your insides out, and I think that, you know, only you can be your own best critique, and, but you continue to persevere and you do your thing, and I must say you are stunning. I mean, outside of drag, but
my
also
God,
in
thank
drag too.
you.
It's very, like, captivating to see your makeup and everything too. So you're excited about your step down-ish because you're a little nervous. Is everybody gonna be coming to see you?
Yes, I don't even know how to put it into words. Like I really don't. And like I
Yeah,
said again, I'm not an emotional person. Like it takes a lot for me, but for somebody to be for two people who has everything else going on in their lives, but for them to be so selfless in every aspect, in every which way, that just have
it's moving, yeah.
spoke to. I mean, it just struck a nerve with me. I mean, it was, and I'm very independent, and they will tell you this. As I was preparing, when I was doing my preliminary, I had already had gown designs being constructed, and I had already had talent ideas. Like, so when we were doing critiques, they were like, "Are you going to do this?" I said, "Oh no, I'm starting from scratch." I already have this. And
Mhm.
so, even for them to just offer to do whatever it was, I mean, if I would have said, I left my driver's license in Kentucky and we were in halfway in the middle of Tennessee, I'm sure they would have found a way to make sure that I had, a driver's license or something like that. But I really am excited. And I have to give a shout out to Jared. We manifested this together. We were like, we're gonna go do this prelim. And I was like, we're gonna reign together.
Mhm.
And he was another one. I wore him out. I wore my partner out. I wore Robbie and Richie out. I wore Mercedes out. I mean, I was wearing them out. Just different things on a pageant because when I went to America, if my goal was never to win. I'm just going to be honest because I have to be a realist in that regard. I mean, I would have to have been just whatever to go and win on my first time.
I
That would have
understand. I
been
do understand.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that I wanted to go introduce them to who I was. I did what I wanted to do. It was a package that I curated. It was an evening gown that I came up with, and I gave 110%. I couldn't ask for nothing else. Even when I won photogenic, and Divinity was beside me, and she was like, "Girl, they just called you for
Mhm.
photogenic," and I was like, "What?" And like I wasn't expecting that, and I don't really consider myself to be. I do this every day on people, makeup every day on people
Yeah.
for weddings, most important days of their life. But I'm very critical of what I look like in my makeup. And even with my photographers, they know if I don't like it, I'm not posting it. I don't care if I paid for it or not.
Mhm.
I want to look like myself. And so for me to win that, and apparently it was, I don't guess unanimous, but I was floored, like that somebody thought, that I was photogenic. Like I really truly was. Um, so I don't know. I'm excited, but I know it's gonna be a mess. I'm gonna have to set my
Mhm.
face to the umpteenth power because I'm gonna boohoo cry.
Yeah.
And
Just don't wear
again,
the liquid mascara. Just wear the good mascara. You know what I'm saying?
and I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
that's well, you deserve every accolade that you get, and I know your heart has always probably been there for the contestants, will be there for the contestants and the community and representing the fabulous Miss Gay Southern America properly. And you did, and you shall still
thank you.
continue to. I know we've spilled over on a ton of time, but I love listening to you and
Yes,
listening
I've
to who
enjoyed
you
it. I
are.
really have.
I do want to just before we go, I want you to kind of give a little glimpse into where Ebony is going. Give a little sneak peek, if you will.
Um, you know, I don't know yet. I
Okay.
obviously will I will return to America.
I hope
Um,
so.
I will. I truly I was telling Robin Ritchie this. There is a flame, and this sounds so cliche, but I already have all the elements of a Miss Gay America. It's just a matter of taking those ingredients, if you will, finding the right measurements,
Mm.
finding the right temperature, the amount of time to bake it. And I know my pound cake will be ready. I know it is golden
Sure will.
brown, baby.
I
So
can't.
I will return. I really will.
I hope so.
I have to figure out my biggest hurdle for me has always been talent. Just because it's so hard
Mm.
to take everything that's in a pot and figure out how to pick out the best of
Sure.
everything
Yep.
for under 6 minutes. So I've got to figure that out. I have been encouraged by so many people, so many formers, even the contestants like, girl, people saw who you were, whether you made the 10 or not. People saw who you were. And that's all I could have asked for was an
Right.
introduction because the next time I go back, it's over, you know. Now, and I
Good.
will tell you this, I'm very frugal. I won't spend the same amount of money I spent just because I have to make sure that when I come home, my home is together first and foremost.
Sure.
Before I put on heels, I've got to put on my scrub top and my scrub cap. And I'm not going to spend that amount of money. So I have to figure out how to maneuver
You
because it
will.
can be done. But
Yeah.
I refuse to do that. I'm thankful and blessed that I was able to, have the capital to do that. But I just won't do that again just because in today's economical climate, you don't never know. And I have a car that takes premium gas, and I
Not
just can't.
premium. Premium.
It's
For
$5 a
real.
gallon. I
Yeah. How
can't
much?
do that. But it's $5, $4.99, $5 a
Yeah,
gallon.
we're up there too. Yeah.
So, but I do want to return. I really do. I
Good.
have my eyes set. If I go back this year, I have my eyes set on a prelim already, just
Good.
one, because I'm gonna get my ticket if I go. I want to go there. So I will return. But other than that, like I'm just content if at home,
Yeah.
hanging out with my family, my friends. I used to be in the clubs a lot, late night shows, but I'm a brunch girly now. Give me a brunch, give me a bingo, a university show, something I can go do my two numbers and go home.
Yes.
Um, but I'm just having fun, living life.
As you should. As you should.
So
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an honor, pleasure, and beyond. You have no idea. I've enjoyed listening to you, and just you're very eloquently spoken as
thank
well.
you.
I split
Thank you.
that in
Thank
there.
you.
Before we go, in true Morgan Morgan fashion, I always like to ask my guests that come on what their meaning of excellence is, because excellence is different for everyone. So I always like to hear what everyone's meaning is, so then I can kind of, see where everyone's headspace is at. So I was wondering if you could share with me, as well as the viewers and the listeners, what your
So
meaning of
I think
excellence is.
I think for me is authenticity. I feel like a lot of people get so caught up on being the version of themselves that everybody else wants them to be. But I think a person is truly excellent if they're authentic in who they are. If you're crass, be crass, but be friendly, you know? So for
Mhm.
me, my version of excellence is being true to who I am, but also extending the olive branch to others because, as I spoke about, you never know what nobody else is going through. And, there might be somebody who wants to go and do what we do, but they don't have, the means to do so.
Yeah,
So offering a helping hand and saying, hey, girl, you can do this as a shortcut, but get the same outcome.
yeah,
So just being a team player, being authentic. And again, it's very basic, very cliche. Just treating others how you want to be treated. I mean, I'm a professional, but don't push me. You know, that's
yeah,
just, that's how I roll. I can roll with the punches, but really authenticity. And I
yeah.
believe I'm always going to be this way. Like, I'm cool as a cucumber, but if you tick me off, you better be prepared for what's to come. I'm going to read you so educatedly, you're not even going to know you've been read.
You don't want that ebony with a Y to come out at all,
Hello.
honey.
One of my, somebody told my mother, Ebony gave me a nice nasty. And she said, oh, yeah, she going to give you a nice nasty. But yeah, I think if I sum it up in one word, it's definitely authenticity
Yeah.
for sure.
And I well, thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you
thank
for
you,
being
truly.
your authentic self with me
Thank
and
you. And
and
thank you
everyone.
for documenting all of this. I know you had a busy week back in January. It's not easy
Oh,
hurting
yeah.
girls in heels and corsets,
Oh,
but
yeah. Running around in
truly,
my own heels and corset.
yes, you were. And so thank you so much for having me and what you do. We truly
My
appreciate it.
honor and pleasure and
Yes.
beyond. So
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to see you. Good luck on your step down, and you're going to look absolutely fabulous. Now, listen. Now, what I've been doing lately is I'm not just saying goodbye to you and then saying goodbye to everyone. We're going to do it together because it's not just
Okay.
about me; it's about you, my love. So, on the
Okay.
count of three, let's just say goodbye to the viewers at home. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.